Honestly, and I don't think there's any particular area other than winning, and whatever it takes from, it's a little bit of a cliche in sports, right? It's a puzzle. So you want each, or I've heard it equated to that of an orchestra, right? So you have each little musician, if you will, playing their role, doing their part, and you'd like the drummer to be the best drummer they could be, the violinist to be the best violinist, and it's a very, very similar in hockey, where people have their roles, and so I don't think that you would specifically look to one area, and I don't think we have one area of weakness or one area of strength. I think we're pretty solid through the lineup. There's a story about, you have the orchestra, and you go for the climax in the song, and there's no bass drum. What happened? Where's the bass drum? Well, he thought he was a violinist, so he's playing violin. So you can kind of equate people knowing their roles, do what you do well, and grow.
Important, to win at this level, but development also a critical thing. I was wondering if you could enlighten us on the role of the development coaches this year for the organization.
Well, it's a little bit of a chicken and an egg. Do you put development in front of winning, or isn't winning really development? So do you want to focus on the winning, educate, teach, enable, and provide the support to the players to be the best players they can be, and challenge them by expecting them to win? We're very lucky. We have a lot of riches. We have a lot of depth this year. So the challenge is going to be perform, win. And I think if players do what they need to do to win the hockey games, there is no better development. So I think that's really the mantra that we're going to preach this year. If you go back to, and I think Tony tweeted it a couple of days, that there were 7 or 8 Blue Jackets from that team. I think there's 10 or 11 guys in the NHL from that team, 4 coaches.
Yeah.
Winning matters. It's the winning that got you there. You could score 20 goals and not make the playoffs. And what are you? 20-goal American League scorer. You score 18 goals and win the championship, you're a prospect. Right? And so that's how we look at it. So we're really going to push the importance of excellence and consistent excellence through the season. We missed the playoffs by a point.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Last year, coming to camp, the Monsters opened with Forsberg and Carpasalo, so fans knew that. Talk about these goaltenders. I know Thiessen's back, but the other guys.
Well, Thiessen's going to play a pretty significant role. He's sort of been our anchor and our consistent excellence. If you want to look to what we're preaching to the young guys, look at that guy. He doesn't play for 2 months, he steps in, he's wonderful. He performs, he's a pro. He's the first guy here, he's the last guy off. He's gracious with his teammates, he's helpful. And that's what you want, that's what we want our young guys to emulate. The kids are really exciting. The typical path is from the USHL to college, if you will, 3 or 4 years, and then you turn pro. And these guys kind of skip a pretty important part. With that said, there's any number of players from Canadian Junior who do enter the American League at 20. So while it's a novel concept, it's not crazy or something that's really never been done before. The exciting part about the 2 young goalies is they're both excellent. If you'll notice their work ethic and their poise. I think those are the 3 things. And they're both actually really nice. They're fun, nice people that you kind of cheer for. And at the same time, they're competitive. And it's a really nice mix. We're really excited about their future.
I wanted to ask you about a group of players that was a big part of the team last year, the Dustin Scott, Jordan Maletta, Nick Gentry, Alex Peters kind of core, and what you want to see out of them this year, taking the next step in their careers.
I think those particular 4 guys have gone from, hey, these guys are pretty good, and sort of being, well, in a campy way, happy for them. Oh, these young guys are good, they work hard. Now there's an expectation of excellence. Now they have to build on it and they have to be better. And that's what we're looking for them to take the next step.
And then also, several veteran players were brought in this year. Trevor Camper, Cameron Gons, Andre Benoit. Just sort of what they bring to the table and how they'll help this team take shape in the early part of the season.
Well, I think they're going to bring a lot of skill, a lot of leadership, and a lot of excellence. And one thing, Cameron Gons, right off the hop, he's got a shiny new ring. And those things make a difference. If you consider our coaching staff, Now with Cameron, I think we have 7 cups. And then I think there's 4 more trips to the finals where they lost in the finals, which is, to me, like, if we're going to put value in winning a cup, it's because of the experience, right? What you learn. So the guy who lost the game had the same experience you did, except for 1 goal, or, you know. Consider that. I think we're 11.
Wow.
11 trips to the finals.
I wonder how that compares around the league. That's got to be up.
Compare around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a volume of experience there that's available to these guys, and now Cameron, you know, he adds to it. He can sit next to the guy and say, I was there in Pittsburgh. Let me tell you something. You got to work harder. You got to work. You got to be more of a pro, and that's a significant part of what we're trying to push here. He's also a really good hockey player. So I mean, don't mistake that. He wasn't brought in here because he had a ring. He was brought in here because he's a good hockey player. Andre Benoit gives us years of experience, NHL experience. Both those guys are depth players for the Blue Jackets, and we can and will probably see them in Columbus at some point. And Carter Camper is a local guy, but that's sort of just a fortunate side. He's a skilled, smart player who can beat you with his head, beat you with his hands, beat you with his skating, create things out of nothing. So he's a pretty talented and dynamic hockey player.
We have quite a bit of a mixture of veterans and young players on this team, correct?
Yeah, I think we have 5 veterans. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't mean veteran rule, you mean just...
No, veteran, I mean with experience.
Yeah, I don't know how it compares. I never sat down and compared it across the league. You know, in the past we had a similar, whether it was...
I mean with those Stanley Cup experience, I'm saying, and you young players, it seems like you have a good blend of...
Yeah, we'll find out, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the hope.
Yeah.
I think I can say, if we've done our homework properly, that the blend of character is consistent. And that's what leads me to be optimistic about, you know, do we have a good fit and a good mix? Is our orchestra going to play pretty music? And we think that at least we know we're going to get the right effort. So.
Can you talk about John Madden, his second year now with the team, just what you expect from him going forward? Obviously, really fun run near the end, obviously falling short to getting into the playoffs, but he showed a lot of intangibles there late coaching-wise in the season.
If you spent any time with him and interacted with him at all, you know that he had a miserable summer. And we made a little bit, I wouldn't say it was a mistake, but it was very easy, sort of by November of last year. We had won our first 2 games, and then we struggled a little bit to say, oh, new coach, hangover from the...
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, that's Bush. That's not right. We should always be good. Mm-hmm. And that's when we go back and we talk about like that 1 point. If I told you that we need 1 extra point in the next 5 games to get in the playoffs, we'd find a way to do it.
Yeah.
And we didn't last year. And so when we finished strong, finally we got everything gelling and coming together, and then we didn't make it. It was a really, really empty feeling. And I know it's been bothering him all summer, and he's excited to get back at it. He's very competitive. And I mean, you can talk to him about it, but he's a guy with a lot of experience. And he won his 3 cups. He lost in the finals. And another thing about him and really the rest of our staff, they all played in the American League. They all had to go through this.
Right.
None of them are, even with all their pedigree, these weren't superstars who are 18 drafted, they're in the league, you know. So they know, and they know what it takes, and that I think that drives them. I think it makes them want to do it even more.